Thursday, 4th of June 2026. 3 Asia-Pacific AI stories before your first coffee. Kakao's crew union confirmed a partial strike for 10th of June in Pangyo after final mediation collapsed on 27th of May at the Gyeonggi Regional Labour Relations Commission in Seoul, marking the company's first ever walkout. The dispute centres on union demands that performance bonuses be pegged to 13 to 14% of last year's operating profit, a structure modelled on the 2025 SK Hynix agreement. Around 49 million South Koreans rely on KakaoTalk for daily payments, ride-hailing and communication, and Kakao shares have plunged 35% over May as brokerages cut price targets. Why it matters? Kakao has positioned its Kanana on-device AI agent built into KakaoTalk as the centrepiece of its 2026 recovery plan, and a prolonged walkout puts that launch calendar directly at risk. Builders integrating with Kakao's agentic AI stack, from commerce plugins to payment rails, now face timeline uncertainty at the worst possible moment, just as Korean rivals like Naver accelerate their own agent rollouts. Capital allocators should watch whether the bonus formula sets a precedent across Korea's tech sector, because SK Hynix's profit-sharing model is already being cited as the template. If Kakao settles at the union's terms, expect similar demands to surface at other large Korean platform companies within quarters, compressing margins right as AI investment spend is ramping. Seoul's Ministry of Science and ICT is now 5 months into the 1-year grace period for Korea's AI Basic Act, which took effect on 22nd of January 2026, alongside its enforcement decree. Fines of up to 30 million won per infraction for high-impact AI operators are deferred through January 2027, but the underlying duties, including mandatory transparency, risk management planning, explainability, user protection, and human oversight, are already live and enforceable in principle. The Republic of Korea's AI Action Plan, finalised in February 2026, layers 99 execution tasks and more than 300 policy recommendations on top of the Act through 2028. Why it matters? The grace period is not a holiday. Operators building or deploying high-impact AI in Korea should treat the next 7 months as a compliance runway, not a reprieve, because the obligations are already codified and MSIT can begin fact-finding investigations the moment the deferral lifts. BSA and the Business and Human Rights Resource Centre have both filed public concerns about the enforcement decree's scope, which signals the calibration window is still open and lobbying positions are hardening on both sides. Capital allocators backing Korean AI startups need to price compliance cost into valuations now, not after January 2027. The second-order effect to watch: how MSIT's final calibration of the decree shapes reciprocity negotiations with the EU AI Act regime, since Korea is positioning itself as a trusted AI jurisdiction for cross-border data and model deployment. Google Cloud launched the Google for Startups Accelerator Southeast Asia, an equity-free 3-month program starting August 2026 that will funnel 25 seed to Series B AI startups from 6 ASEAN markets through technical residencies in Singapore and Silicon Valley. Each startup receives up to $350,000 in Google Cloud credits, along with access to tensor processing units, Gemini models, and the enterprise AI tool stack. 4 government partners are backing the corridor: Enterprise Singapore, Indonesia's Comdigi, Vietnam's National Innovation Centre, and Ho Chi Minh City's Startup and Innovation Hub. Why it matters. Google is building a structured pipeline that connects Southeast Asian AI founders directly to Valley infrastructure and go-to-market networks. And the government co-sign from 4 countries signals coordinated state interest in making the region an AI export base, not just a consumption market. Builders in the cohort get compute subsidies that meaningfully lower the cost of training and inference at a stage where cloud bills can kill a startup. Capital allocators should watch the follow-on signal closely. Google's regional startup investments since 2018 have helped more than 200 Southeast Asian startups raise $6.6 billion in subsequent funding. The second-order effect worth tracking is whether this corridor model pressures AWS and Azure to launch competing ASEAN accelerator programs with matched or larger credit packages. That is your AIinAsia briefing for today. Stay sharp, build well, see you tomorrow.